Hello, how are you? Hope you are well. Wherever you are, may you be happy. May God keep you happy and give you a long life with good health. May all those who are troubled have their problems removed. May God give health to all those who are sick, and may God forgive all those who are no more. My dear ones, my prayers are for you. Please remember me and my family in your prayers. Let's move on to today's story, Egyptian Black Magic. This is a different story that has come to me. I have heard of a new type of black magic, Egyptian black magic. Now, in the story, everything is the same. Humility, denizenship, envy, jealousy, and then a dreadful type of black magic was done on them, which is called Egyptian black magic. When it was diagnosed, the story is very interesting. Listen till the end, protect yourself, because I have heard when these creatures are mentioned, they come close to you with great interest and start listening to their talks. Let's move on to our story. Hello, how are you? My name is Malik, and I am from Islamabad, but I have been living in Sydney, Australia for the last 11 years. Before this, I spent 3 years in the UK. Then I moved here because I had a student visa, and it is very difficult to find a job on a student visa. I struggled a lot in the first 2 years. This story is my own. I encountered other creatures for 6 years. I was in Australia in business, so I started researching about all this magic, demons, and these things. Slowly, God did his work and made me capable enough to start my own small business. My business was a business of corporate cars. It was a luxury car that I had to provide pick and drop service to VIP clients like ministers, model delegations, and so on. And sometimes the car had to be booked at an overpriced price. You have to stay with them for a week or two. So, I started a business, registered my company, worked very hard in the beginning, and after that, slowly, the business started booming, and then, slowly, I started putting my cars. My business was going very well. At that time, I used to show off a lot of things like buying a new car, a phone, or any small thing, and then immediately show it off. I like traveling a lot, so I used to go out with friends every weekend, go anywhere, enjoy food, post pictures of that too, and so forth. This was my habit, and my mother used to forbid me from doing this. She used to say that this showing off is not a good thing, don't show it off. A person gets noticed, but I did not realize this at that time. In 2015, I was well settled, so I went to Pakistan. As soon as I reached there, I bought a new car. I already had a car in Pakistan. My mother forbade me to buy a new car, saying that when there is already a car in the house, then what is the need to buy one? But I wanted to have the best car in the family. I attended 2 or 3 weddings there, and I was very prominent there too. Everyone felt that I had a lot of money and such things. So, because of this, I was in the eyes of a lot of people. Even those people who did not even talk to us earlier, they also used to like me. They started inviting me for a party. I was already engaged. I was already engaged to my maternal uncle's daughter. They lived in Kota. Despite knowing about the engagement, some of our relatives came to our house with their daughter's marriage proposal and told Mum that they wanted to give their daughter's marriage proposal. Mum said that his first engagement was with his maternal uncle's daughter and their marriage was going well. So, how can you bring a marriage proposal knowing this? They said that engagements can also be broken. Well, when I came to know about it, I felt very strange. After some time, I returned to Australia and got busy with my usual work. It had been 12 to 14 days since I had come. So, I left for work in the morning like a normal day. I reached my office. I assigned the jobs that I was to assign to the drivers. I made manifests for the new jobs that had come. There was a lot of work. I got late by the time I reached. It was around 11 p.m. My house was at a drive of 30 to 40 minutes from Sydney City. I left from there, and while coming, my car ran over something and I heard the sound of a bursting tire. I was very scared that I don't know what has happened. There was nothing like that on the road and I was driving very carefully. I stopped the car in the desert and got down and saw that both the tires on the left side were burst. I had one tire, but the other was not there. So I called the side assistant on the road. He came and loaded my car. From there, I booked an Uber myself and reached home. After reaching home, I checked my mobile for a while and after that I slept. So this was the night from where the story started, and I did not realize what was happening to me. At 3 in the night, my eyes opened and I felt as if someone had opened my heart. I was in pain and my heartbeat was also very fast. I woke up in a hurry and my condition was such that my whole body was covered with sweat. My hands and feet were completely cold and I was in severe chest pain. There was pain in the whole arm and jaw too, so I started making noise. I used to live with friends, so I was in the adjacent room. My friend came running, and when he saw my condition, he immediately put me in the car and took me to the hospital. When the nurse put the oximeter on my finger, she was about to check my blood pressure. When she put the oximeter, she saw that my heartbeat was 320 plus. She pressed the emergency button and gave a blue code that my condition was life-threatening. They picked me up and took me to the ICU and started giving me IV and all this. I was not able to understand what was happening to me. They kept me in the hospital and did all my tests. When the tests came back, they were completely normal. I was a completely healthy person. The doctor was worried as to what happened. The heartbeat was so fast, so much chest pain, and the person was in this condition. They could not understand what it was. Anyway, I recovered and got back to my normal work routine. 2 or 3 days passed, and then the same thing happened again. Then I went to the hospital. Then the same situation happened again. Then the tests were done again. Now this thing had become normal. Every 3rd day I would get this attack. I would come very close to death and go to the hospital. The tests were done, and everything came out normal. I was not able to understand what was happening. Many of my friends told me that I will have to leave the country. I will have to go to Pakistan. The doctors there rely on the tests, so you should go to Pakistan. The diagnosis of the doctors there is very good. I came back to Pakistan and my family admitted me to Shifa International Hospital. They also did all my A to Z tests. At that time, my condition was such that I was having attacks 2 to 3 times a day and I was in complete pain. I did not get relief even for a second. At that time, the hospital staff would put me to sleep by giving me sleeping pills. I would keep sleeping, and when I would open my eyes, I would again be in pain. My breathing was stopping. There was a heavy burden on my shoulders. It felt as if someone had put a weight on my shoulders, and I was breathing with great difficulty. My condition was getting worse. My reports were absolutely fine. My mother that because my family and I ourselves did not believe in these things, that this magic is jinn, and what people say, that they got a spell cast on them. They got a spell cast on them. People talk like this. Nothing like this happens. So, my uncle said that he felt there was some other issue. He suggested we get it checked by a spiritual healer, because all the tests were coming normal here, as well as in Australia. Then it was a situation of, what can one do? My mother said that it is okay. Then my uncle had an acquaintance named Kari Sahab, who was a very good person. He was not going to take any money, etc. He was called, and he came and saw me. He started studying. When he studied, I was feeling as if I was having heart flushes. A gust of fire would rise from my head and end after reaching my feet. But after he studied for a while, the burden on my legs was gone, the weight was gone, my breathing became normal, and my pain completely ended. When this happened, I and my family members realized that there was really some spiritual issue with me. After this, Kari Sahab kept treating me continuously, and I was completely cured. The day of going back to Australia came. I was packing and getting ready. Everything was packed. In the evening, I came to Mamu's house to leave for the airport from there itself. Suddenly, while sitting, I get an attack again, and the attack is worse than the attacks I was getting earlier. This time, because of that attack, the pain is so severe that I stop breathing. People quickly take me to the hospital, CMH hospital. I reach there with great difficulty, and after reaching there, they put oxygen on me and give me CPR. After some time, I regain consciousness. They do all my tests, keep me in the hospital. The tests come back. Everything is normal. Then I get fine for a few days, and when I leave to go to Australia again, the same thing starts happening again, and my condition becomes the same again. This happened to me 3 times. Then it became clear that whatever was with me did not want me to go to Australia. Then Qari Sahab gave up, saying that it is not in his control. He said, "I will tell you about a Pir Sahab. You go to him in Faisalabad. My family members take me there." I went there, and that Pir Sahab saw me and said that a very strong spell has been cast on him, and the thing is not allowing him to come out of here. Then he did some recitation, and then he gave some amulets written in saffron for the month of Na, and told me to come back. I am telling a recitation to Qari Sahab. You should sit with him and study that sitting in the mosque all night. I came back and did that recitation. Sitting in the mosque, despite being in the mosque, there is a very strange feelinglessness. So that was a hair-raising thing. The feeling of someone's presence was present with me. Qari Sahab was also studying, and I was also sitting with him and studying. We studied the whole night. Then he took a pot in which there were some things, and after reading on it, he closed it and said that bury it in a deserted place and come back. Then I, my maternal uncle and my father, we all went to a deserted place and buried that pot. After that, I talked to Pir Sahab. He said that now you should book a ticket. By the order of God, you can go now. I got the ticket with fear and nothing happened. I went back to Australia. I kept taking the amulet for 3 months, and after getting completely cured, I started living a normal life. As soon as my amulet ended after 3 months, after a week, I had another attack. And due to a very severe attack, I again went to the hospital. My condition became life-threatening. All the tests were done again. Everything was normal, but then everything became normal again. My family members got worried. Many friends got worried that what is happening. Friend, after this my condition started getting worse. My nose started bleeding. My mouth started bleeding. My weight started decreasing day by day. I was quite strong. I focused on work. I was not able to work. Slowly, the work started going bad. Contracts started ending. To survive, I had to resort to selling my vehicles. One by one, my vehicles were sold. My condition kept getting worse. Money got over. Business stopped completely. Then many people here told me that there are some Sri Lankans in Australia who do spiritual treatment. You should go to them. I went to them. They told me that I should go to them. I got treated and was fine for some time. As I told you earlier that I was very fond of traveling, so my health was not good. So my friends told me that we should go somewhere. There is a place called Kiama, which is an hour's drive from Sydney. That town is about 4 kilometers away from Sydney. There is a lot of rainforest and the roads are often deserted. We left around 5:30 in the evening. My friend and cousin Sarmat were with me. We reached Kiama. We stopped on the way and reached there. It was around 9 or 9:30. There was a blue hole there. Blue hole means there were rocks there. There was a hole in them, and that hole was connected to the seawater below. When the waves came strongly, the water would come out of the hole. It was a tourist attraction. People used to come there. It was winter season at that time. Here the cold is the opposite. Here it is cold in June, July, and it becomes hot in December. It was winter season, and cold wind was blowing there. My friend was in it. We were engrossed in it. There was no one there except us at that time. So the story starts from here. I was standing there and suddenly I see something and I walk forward staggering for 3 or 4 steps. When I look back, there is no one there. This was the day when something started happening to me physically. I thought that one of my friends was joking, but till date, no one had joked with me like this. They knew that I was ill. All my friends and cousins were standing ahead and were talking among themselves. It had started raining lightly. At that time, I looked at them and then looked back. I was surprised at what was happening to me. After some time, my health started deteriorating. I felt as if there was a burden on my shoulders. My heart started stopping. I told them that, friends, let us go there. We should stop there. It was about to be 10:30 or 11 at that time. We left from there. My cousin was driving the car. I was sitting on the side seat, and our 3 friends were sitting on the back seat. When we came on the main highway, there was forest on both sides and light rain started. It was raining, the atmosphere was very terrible, but no one had thought about what was going to happen to us. The vehicle had a speed of 110 on the main highway. At that speed, we tried to increase the speed of the vehicle. My cousin was trying to race the vehicle, but the vehicle was not going above 40. The engine of the vehicle was making a loud noise and the vehicle was automatic. Its accelerator was pressed completely, but the vehicle was not going above 40. I was also feeling this thing, and the rest of the people also felt this thing. I asked him, what is happening? Sir said that, brother, I am trying to race the vehicle, but the vehicle is not moving. Well, I started feeling something, that there is some problem and something is going to happen to us. I started getting such a feeling, so I told everyone in advance to keep reading something or the other. God is the master. Everyone knew that there is some minor problem with me, but after some time my health started deteriorating a lot. So Qari Sahab, from whom I was getting treatment, he sent me a voice note that whenever you feel unwell, you should listen to that dum. So Sarmat tells me to connect the aux cable and play that dum, your health will get better. I connected the aux cable and played that dum. It was not even half played when I felt that complete darkness had engulfed us. It was a winter night on Sultan and Ran Road, and I felt as if there was something on our left. When I looked out of the window, there was a black shadow there, very slowly, but even in that darkness, there was a jet black shadow which was coming towards the left along with our car. So when I saw that thing, along with me, our 3 friends who were sitting on the back seat also saw that thing, so they got very scared. I told everyone to start reciting something in a loud voice. Whoever knew something, someone was reciting Surah Nas, Ayatul Kursi. Everyone was reciting in a loud voice. Then the boys got so scared that they started reciting in the wrong way in the middle. After this, our car became even heavier. If you are at that place, imagine yourself, and if such a situation happens to you, then it was a very strange scene that will make you feel very happy. Our car became heavy, and it became very difficult to drive. My health suddenly started deteriorating, and after this, I lost my senses. I had no idea what happened to me. After this, according to Sarmat and the other friends, something had entered inside me and I had become possessed. I had so much power that I was not coming under the control of all these boys. Dense forest, dangerous road, no population anywhere, no sign of any vehicle, and these people were struggling with me to bring me back to my normal state. They were reading something or the other and blowing on me. They were trying to control me, but I was not able to do so. They controlled me with great difficulty. While walking, we reached a small town, where they stopped the car, made me lie down, and sprayed water on my face. After some time, I regained consciousness. After regaining consciousness, I felt as if someone had beaten me and thrown me away. My heart was completely broken. My heart was about to break down, and we covered the 1.5-hour journey in 3 to 4 hours while saying no. We reached home at 3:30 to 4 in the night. After coming home, I was feeling that there was something around me which sometimes came on this side and sometimes on that side. I was feeling this thing, and at this time, everyone was with me. We lived in the same house. Then while sitting, I felt that someone was walking in the room in front. The sound of footsteps was coming. I thought that maybe I am the only one hearing that sound. So I asked Sarmat whether you are hearing that someone is walking. That room was next to the kitchen. Sarmat looked at me and nodded yes. All the boys were very scared. Well, that night we all slept in the same room. Everyone slept in my room with me because everyone was scared. The situation was such that after this, a series of strange things started happening, like utensils ringing in the kitchen and the doors opening by themselves. The most terrifying thing that happened was that we were sitting downstairs and having dinner. There was a chandelier above us. Suddenly, there was a sound, and the chandelier started moving a little. Everyone looked up. I told everyone that no one should eat food. Everything is fine. I had just said this when the chandelier started swinging so hard that many people from below got up and ran away, and I was left alone sitting there. I started reading at my feet, and everyone else started reading, but this thing started becoming very evident. After this, I could not sleep at night, and when I could not sleep, I used to hear strange sounds. Most of the houses here are made of wood, so I used to feel as if someone was scratching on the wood with nails. And sometimes, The sound of a car door closing from outside came. Sometimes the sound of someone coughing came. There was a flat at the back of my room in which two brothers lived. One night, this happened. I was not able to sleep, and the sound of someone coughing was coming from that flat. They were two brothers and lived together. All these people were trying to control me. I picked up all the things in the sitting area of that person and threw them from here to there. Those things which I did not have the strength to lift, my total weight had reduced to 40 kilograms. I had become very thin, but still I had so much strength that I was picking up and throwing things from here to there. Then when they controlled me and made me lie down, my stomach was moving from inside my shirt. So when that person who was studying lifted my shirt, all the people who were there saw that there was something inside my body which was running here and running there. And this was the thing that Pirwani Sahab says, that as soon as they saw it, everyone's eyes were wide open. Everyone had seen something for the first time in their lives. That man, the one who was studying, also got scared after seeing this, and he completed his studies and then splashed water on my face. I had fainted. When I regained consciousness, my body was broken. It seemed as if someone had broken me and thrown me. This man also said that I have never seen such a thing in my life. This is a very dangerous thing, and it will surely kill him and will not let him live. So you should show it to some capable person. This is not the work of any normal person. Well, this man also refused. There were Saudi people here. I used to go to them. They used to do ruqyah. I would faint. They would beat me with sticks, and when I would get up, it would seem that my bones were broken, and there would also be marks which were caused by the beating. They also tried a lot, but nothing could be done. I could not recover. When I would recover a little, friends, etc. would call me. All my vehicles had been sold. All my work had stopped. I used to work only for a day or two. I did not want to go to Pakistan for survival because I was not pursuing a degree. I was doing my studies, and I wanted to stay till it was completed. By then, I had realized that my mother used to say that I should not show off, so I had completely disappeared from social media. I used to pray 5 times a day and do all those things. Well, there a friend invited me for a barbecue, and through their mutual friend, I met a girl who was from India. When I started having casual conversations with her, when she saw my condition, she was very concerned and was working with Qatar Airways. So she went back to India and talked to her aunt that there is a guy like this. His condition is very bad. When I saw him and heard his story, there were very strange things, so I have to help him a little. I cut the story a little from the middle that I went to Pakistan in between, and I did not leave any other city where I did not go for treatment. But it did not make any difference to me. I mean, I went to Multan, Lahore, Karachi, Kota, everywhere. But I could not get cured. During the same time, my engagement also got broken, because that girl also said the same thing, that how will I spend my life with this sick person? Well, she is from India. The girl talked to her aunt. She went to a man there, and they went there and told him the whole situation. When that man calculated my situation, he told that there is sugar magic on me, which very few people know in today's era. And this man told that not one but thousands of Chinna come with him who do not give him time to breathe for a moment, due to which he is in this condition. But he said that this man who reads prayers and reads manzil, due to this he has survived till today. If he had not been strict about prayers, he would have died long ago. These things would have killed him. He said that I will treat him, and he started treating me. He started studying. He told me to do rituals too, but that rituals was very dangerous. The rituals was such that for 40 days, one had to go to the forest every day. Take an akali and take some mustard seeds, keep them on your palm and read something, and then throw it in the forest after waving it 9 times over yourself. One had to not look back. Rituals had to be done for 40 days, and every day I had to do it at different places. I did not want to return to the same place, and I had to go alone. So there is a forest a little away from our house which is called Royal National Park. I started going there. When I went on the first day, the atmosphere was very scary. There was darkness all around. I was alone. I parked the car on the side of the road. Then I went out and went into the forest. I put a lime in my hand, cut it into 4 pieces, put mustard seeds under it, and I had to study something. After doing that, I turned around and started walking. I felt like there was a stampede behind me, as if a lot of people were running and following me. There was a very scary sound that was following me. I was not able to understand from which direction the sound was coming, whether it was coming from in front of me, from behind me, or from the side. I was not able to understand anything. So it was as if I was instructed to muster courage and not to look back, keep my eyes down, and quietly go back from there. I ran from there, sat in the car, and kept on doing my research and drove the car from there. I had to do it for 40 days. And after one day I was scared and came back. I told them that this kind of incident happened with me. They said this is bound to happen. If you want to get rid of this thing, you will have to tolerate it. Then I gathered courage and started practicing it. Something like this used to happen with me every day. One day, when it had been more than 20 days when I came back after practicing it, my car's tire was punctured. When I saw it, its front tire was completely down. So I could not change the tire there because it was a jungle environment and I was hearing strange sounds from behind. I sat in the car and drove the car with the punctured tire. When I reached a petrol station, I saw that the condition of the tire had become very bad. So I went there and changed the tire. This is how I spent my days. And then slowly, those sounds started coming less, and the burden on me reduced, and slowly those things ended from me. From 2015 to 2021, I saw this time in which I also got a job, and I felt all these things with me. In between, it happened that one day, I used to work for a day or two in the early morning. I came and sat in the car. As I looked at the middle mirror of the car, I saw a thing with a very strange and terrifying face sitting behind me, which had long black hair. I immediately looked back, but that thing was not there. I came back and came inside and started reading the manzil. Then I told that person that I cannot do the job because my health is not good. In this way, many things happened in between which I have skipped. It was a period of 6 years. A lot happened in 6 years. So, I told you a short story. I got treatment from there, and I was completely cured. Mash God, that girl from India is my wife today. I proposed to her because she stood with me in difficult times. And then we got married in the middle of 2021. And today, we are in Australia. Thank God. So even today, when I sometimes think of these things, I feel that there is something that she is looking at me. But then the human being is ashraful of the creatures. You have to have courage. And the biggest thing is that I was not afraid and had courage. God had given me a lot of courage. Due to this, I tolerated this thing. And I have a request to the rest of the people who heard this, that I realized these things very late. But you should never show off your new steps, your progress, your decisions. Never tell anyone else because there are very few people who are happy to see you happy. The rest who does magic on you, you can never come to know about it. Whatever these people tell you, all this is a lie. I have experienced a lot, invested a lot of money, and I did not get any difference from this thing. So you people should also avoid showing off. Read prayers, then you will be saved from these things. So this was my story. There are some other stories of other people. I will share them some other time. Goodbye. Thank you very much for sharing your story with us.